The girly girl, lover of puppies, shopping, and the color pink. She is fancy, she is vain, she is queen of girl world.
And I'm like totally into shopping, like shop till you drop, da-da-da-da-da-da, charge it!
If we look at the girly girl across film and TV, we can spot some common characteristics that define this type. She's materialistic. The girly girl loves pretty dresses and, of course, jewelry.
It's jewelry! Jewelry! It's jewelry, people!
She's in touch with her feelings, sometimes to the point of melodrama, and she's figured out how to weaponize those tears.
Now she's going to make the Disney face. Her lip is going to quiver and her eyes will flutter, but they won't ever actually close. But do not feel sorry for her.
She only likes girly media. Comic books, gross. Math, not unless you count calculating a buy one, get one deal at a shoe store. If you want to distract a girly girl, try a chick flick. It's her kryptonite. A reference the girly girl will not understand.
Then I turn on the news and I'm like, and then I turn on Sweet Home Alabama and I'm like.
Other girls may like to get dirty or have a career, boy stuff. Not the girly girl. Her goals in life are simple. Look cute, get a man, and live happily ever after.
People do live happily ever after.
But when we conflate girliness with passivity, vacuity, and victimhood, it not only devalues girly girls, it devalues all women and robs both men and women of experiencing the full spectrum of human emotion.
There's no crying in baseball!
The girly girl can have as much depth, drive, and strength as any tomboy, if she's written with care and empathy. Here's our take on the girly girl, her wants, her role in fiction, and why we're seeing everyone get a little girly today.
Shopping, makeovers.
Ooh, I vote makeovers. Ah!
You're watching The Take. Let us know your take.
Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions of people come together to take classes that fuel their creative journey. The first 1,000 people to use the link in our description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. So become a member today and start exploring your creativity for less than $10 a month.
You think I'm one of those women?
One of what women?
One of those women we hate who just works until she gets married.
The girly girl can feel like a regressive trope. In movies, TV, and literature, she's often portrayed as a character that holds other women back. But for much of Western history, girliness was the default. Historically, nobility had very exacting standards of dress that to our modern eyes look pretty girly. And girly girls were status symbols for families. Girls acquired status through performing girliness and converted that status into marrying well. In other words, their job was to be pretty and marry whomever their dad said they should marry. It was an essentially passive life plan, one where having too much individuality or drive could get in the way.
I was brought up a proper lady. I wasn't meant to understand things. I'm just meant to look pretty and then someone nice will marry me. Possibly a baron.
That's why in the 1920 setting of The Great Gatsby, Daisy wishes that her daughter will grow up to be
a fool. That's the best thing a girl in this world can be. A beautiful little fool.
Meanwhile, if you were poor, tomboyish, or not white, this perfect girl ideal was inaccessible. As girliness is, at its essence, both a product and signifier of wealth and class. It takes training to hold yourself in a feminine way, to look and speak and behave in the correct, refined manner.
I cannot boast of knowing more than half a dozen women in all my acquaintance that are truly accomplished.
She must have a thorough knowledge of music, singing, drawing, dancing, and the modern languages to deserve the word.
We can still see this link between girliness and money in 1995's Clueless, where Ty, who's implied to be less wealthy, is singled out for failing to present as sufficiently girly.
She could be a farmer in those clothes.
Her interest in skateboarding, her accent, and her clothes are mocked and corrected for not fitting the template of the Beverly Hills elite.
Just as long as we do it every day, not just sporadically.
How do you know if you're doing it sporadically?
That's another thing, Ty. We've got to work on your accent and vocabulary.
Even today, it costs money to look girly. And if you want to perform the girly lifestyle into adulthood, you can't have a taxing, manual, blue-collar job. The ultra-feminine ideal was also long completely off-limits for women of color, as being a lady was defined by whiteness. The social obsession with protecting white femininity was the justification for horrific violence against people of color. And until recently, if we ever saw a non-white girly girl on screen, she had to be fabulously, cartoonishly wealthy.
The shopping with Dr. Seuss? Well, at least I wouldn't skin a collie to make my backpack.
As feminism made inroads in society, though, different expressions of womanhood have gradually become viable. The Gilded Age saw the popularization in culture of the new woman, a term coined in 1894 by writers Sarah Grand and Maria Louise Ramée, describing a woman who pursued things like education and the right to vote.
Political equality and equal rights with men.
New women fought to have careers, to play sports, to never get married, or to engage in relationships with other women. From this point forward, there were two versions of girlhood: the normal girly girls and the pioneering gals. No longer outlier characters, girls with gender-defying ambitions became protagonists.
All these girls gonna be in the league?
Where first-wave feminism sought legal rights for women, second-wave feminism, starting in the late 60s, tried to rectify cultural wrongs against women.
The rest of them I understand, but Gloria Steinem, she's so pretty. How could she not find a husband?
Well, she doesn't want one.
And shunning girliness came to be seen as a key part of this liberation. It was a feminist's duty to rebel against gender norms, as seen in Joe Freeman's Bitch Manifesto. Our society has defined humanity as male, and female as something other than male. Because she has insisted on being human before being feminine, on being true to herself before kowtowing to social pressures, a bitch grows up an outsider. Even as girls, bitches violated the limits of accepted sex role behavior. In this view, being feminine is the same as agreeing that you are subhuman, and therefore holding the rest of the sisterhood back. By emphasizing a rejection of gender norms, second-wave feminism left girly girls behind. And to this day, our society as a whole kind of hates teen girls. Their interests are mocked, their moods are pathologized, and their clothes are policed.
What the hell is that?
A dress.
Says who?
Calvin Klein.
It looks like underwear. Go upstairs and put something over it.
This judgment of a girl's interests actually starts much earlier, as we lay the gender binary on everything almost from birth. We're told that boys like trucks, girls like dolls, boys like blue, girls like pink. Boys like sports, girls like makeup. Boys are angry, girls are sad. Boys are active heroes. Girls are passive victims. Boys are the protagonists of stories. Girls are objects to be won.
How dare you? All of you, standing around deciding my future? I am not a prize to be won.
And of course, in all these dichotomies that persist in our culture, the girly stuff is seen as lesser. Even parents of young kids who try to escape these limiting binaries more frequently do so by encouraging their girls to adopt boyish interests, rather than vice versa, affirming the implicit message that to spend your time liking pink, princesses, mermaids, or anything else coded as explicitly feminine isn't as good. And our stories reinforce the same assumption. Writers of female protagonists often feel they have to give her stereotypically unfeminine hobbies and pursuits, just to make her seem like a lead character we can all approve of.
I shall go to London, disguise myself as a boy, and seek my fortune.
So where does that leave the girly girl? In popular narratives, the girly girl often finds herself paired with a tomboy. You get the girl equivalent of the jock-nerd dyad. Contrasting your girl characters and how feminine they present is a simple, immediate way to distinguish one girl from another.
You can only put on so much lip gloss, princess!
The problem is that these two characters tend to receive very uneven story time and characterization. Often, the girly girl is just an accessory to the other girl the writer wants us to emotionally invest in. Since girliness has long been the default, the tomboy automatically draws our attention for her originality and courage.
I don't like to do what people expect. Why should I live up to other people's expectations instead of my own?
The tomboy actively defies social norms, while the girly girl appears to be passively conforming.
I hate having to go along with everything my friends say.
Then why do you do it?
I don't...
And when the romantic lead applauds our main girl for being not like other girls, the girly girl is those other girls.
Some girls like to shop. Not all girls, apparently.
Jessica in the Twilight series is a normal high school girl who crushes on both Edward Cullen and Mike.
Apparently nobody here is good enough for him.
But both prefer bookish, unconventional Bella. In the movies, Jessica exists mainly to create background noise. While Anna Kendrick is talking nearly every minute she is on screen, her words are drowned out by Bella's melodrama.
And I'm going through stuff too. You know, like Mike just wants to be friends. It's hard, you know?
That's how unimportant her thoughts and feelings are to the directors of the Twilight series. The movie wants us to think, well, Bella is reorganizing her life around a guy who said he wants to kill her. But at least she doesn't care about prom.
Bella, what do you think? Yes?
Oh, looks great.
You said that about like the last 5 dresses, though.
We're supposed to take it for granted that the girly girl's priorities are out of whack.
You know, I think you're the only girl in the world that can stand on a stage with a spotlight in her eye and still see a diamond inside a man's pocket.
In Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Marilyn Monroe's gold-digging Lorelai motivates the plot. Yet we're encouraged to look down on and laugh at Monroe's character because she's so one-dimensional in her attention to her looks and her attraction to wealth.
I just love finding new places to wear diamonds.
If we're paying attention, we do get clues that there's more to Lorelai than meets the eye.
I can be smart when it's important, but most men don't like it.
She understands clearly that women in the 50s aren't able to be good earners, and her class mobility is reliant on being able to nab a rich man.
Don't you know that a man being rich is like a girl being pretty? You might not marry a girl just because she's pretty, but my goodness, doesn't it help?
On the other hand, what most viewers are likely to remember is that she sings a love song to jewelry.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
In Pride and Prejudice, Lizzie Bennet's youngest sister Lydia risks her personal safety and her family's honor by running away with bad boy Wickham.
I will join Mr. Bennet and find Lydia before she ruins the family forever.
It's not really explained why she would do something so rash, except to show that Lydia is the shallow, typical girl. Everything Lizzie is not. Where Lizzie is self-possessed, Lydia is gushy. Where Lizzie reads, Lydia flirts. Where Lizzie turns down 2 proposals, Lydia elopes with Wickham without a second thought.
I can't wait to see my mother's face and my sister's. Kitty will be so envious.
Yet, why should her falling under the spell of this bewitching man be so hard for us to sympathize with? After all, Lydia isn't the only one who's tempted by Wickham's charms. Lizzie herself also falls for him without knowing him well. And she lets this attraction blind her to the deeper character of her true love, Mr. Darcy.
You told me of his misfortunes.
Oh, yes, his misfortunes have been very great indeed.
You ruin his chances and yet you treat him with sarcasm.
And while in most adaptations, Lydia is given no deeper motivation for her impulsive behavior, in the web series adaptation, The Lizzie Bennet Diaries, Lydia gets her own vlog to explain her side of things.
Jane and Lizzie are too worried about propriety and letting things take their own time and not overusing air quotes to get anything done at all.
We see that she acts out of insecurity about being compared to Lizzie, and a desperate need for affection and validation that her family just doesn't give her.
He treats me like I'm someone, I guess. He always puts me first, and I didn't know people really did that.
Girly girls are so automatically discounted. They're often the first to go when a longer-running TV show loses its grip on character development.
I know it's my turn to do the dishes, but I'm in character. And if you make me do the dishes, I will kill myself!
In seasons 1 and 2 of 30 Rock, Jenna's vanity is shown to be the practical professional awareness of an actor on a TV show, whose boss is closely monitoring her looks and weight.
She needs to lose 30 pounds or gain 60. Anything in between has no place in television.
But as the series gets more cartoonish and packed with jokes, Jenna Maroney quickly goes from being a believable best friend for Liz to an over-the-top parody of the narcissistic celebrity.
Listen up, Fives. A 10 is speaking. First you get married, now you're winning an award? These are my things. Next you'll tell me Mickey Rourke catapulted you into the Hollywood sign.
Shallow depictions of the outsized girly girl exist mainly to put on a little distracting dance for the audience.
Twirl! Do it again! Keep twirling!
and crucially to draw your attention away from any character flaws your protagonist girl may have.
I'm designed to kill.
I don't care.
Girliness is made into an aberration, something wrong with a person that makes them less than.
Girl power is about being individual, being whoever you want to be.
Right.
Wearing your short skirts, your underbras and your makeup, but having something to say.
From the 1990s on, third wave feminism examined the ways traditionally feminine things had been devalued. Both Riot Girl and Girl Power reclaimed pink. Works like Carol Gilligan's In a Different Voice validated women's emotion-based reasoning, and Sex Positivity examined how women could take pleasure in their bodies and appearance.
I always celebrate my body, sometimes twice a day.
In this environment, art culture's aversion to girliness was interrogated. As Yael Cohen wrote in New York Magazine, "What's wrong with girly anyway? Rolling our eyes at pink feels like another way of treating female culture on the whole as a niche interest, somehow secondary to male culture, aka the mainstream."
Is this a kissing book?
Likewise, in fictional works with a deeper commitment to character development, we can see this interrogation of our attitudes to girliness at play. In Greta Gerwig's 2019 adaptation of Little Women, Amy March is at last given the character depth she's been denied for over a century. In the novel and adaptations, Amy is portrayed as selfish, vain, and petty. And she's maligned by audiences for stealing Lori from Joe, who, incidentally, never wanted him.
I can't love you as you want me to. I don't know why.
But Gerwig understands Amy as both a gifted artist and a pragmatic young woman of her time. Florence Pugh's Amy knows that she has to marry well in order to provide for her family, since none of her other sisters will. She has to give up her pipe dream of becoming a professional artist.
And as a woman, there's no way for me to make my own money. Not enough to earn a living or to support my family.
Thus, far from being a marker of flighty thoughtlessness, her girly presentation is a sign of her worldly savvy and realism.
So don't sit there and tell me that marriage isn't an economic proposition, because it is.
On Mad Men, we're encouraged to invest in non-girly girl Peggy, an embodiment of second-wave feminism's mantra that women can do everything a man can do.
The conversation of a raise is not inappropriate at this moment, but do not be timid. You presented like a man, now act like one.
But refreshingly, this doesn't mean that the girlier girls in the story are discarded as one-dimensional. Dawn's wife Betty is fleshed out as a victim of her society's old-fashioned ideas of girliness, which she can't admit don't actually make her happy.
And I think, are you unhappy?
Of course I'm happy.
And through Mad Men's femmiest character, Joan, the show fully explores both the benefits and limits of playing to gender stereotypes. Joan starts out upholding ideas about traditional marriage roles and continues even after her fiancé assaults her.
Your fiancé is so handsome. He is.
But as the show goes on, Joan negotiates her way through femininity, recognizing her deeper longings for independence and professional success, and picking up and discarding parts of womanhood as they suit her.
I wonder how many women around here would like to speak to a lawyer. I think the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has one.
By the end of the show, she's a satisfied single mother running a company.
Holloway Harris, how may I help you? Of course, please hold for Joan.
The well-developed girly girl also gets to show off other parts of her personality that have nothing to do with her gender. Newer versions of Daphne on Scooby-Doo usually give her something other than damsel in distress to portray. In Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, she's an ambitious reporter, and the live-action movies gave her martial arts skills.
Now who's the damsel in distress?
Girly girl Rachel Green goes through a decade of character development on Friends, arguably more so than any other character on the show.
Look, you know when you first came to the city, you were this spoiled, helpless little girl who still used daddy's credit cards. Look at you. You're this big executive.
She starts the show as a spoiled rich girl who buys new boots with her daddy's credit card rather than find a job. But even in the pilot, her ambition for more shines through.
All of my life, everyone has always told me, you're a shoe. And then today I just stopped and I said, what if I don't want to be a shoe?
Rachel finds career fulfillment in fashion, marrying her ambition and girliness into one package. Today's films and shows increasingly feature girly girls of color. girly girls who get to drive their own stories, girly girls who might be into other girls.
I'm a lesbian, love. Gold star.
Kelsey, are you coming out to me?
Oh God, no. I've been out ever since Queen Janet's wardrobe malfunction.
And girly girls who are differentiated from less girly girls, but aren't reduced to this one aspect of their personality.
30 years from now, when I am the second Black female president, all you'll be able to do is think about me, and I won't remember your name.
When we allow girly girls to be more than just the butt of jokes, it makes room for different types of people to be seen as competent and rational human beings. Someone can take pride in their makeup and be competent at their job, as well as have complex, mixed feelings about the role femininity plays in their life. Meanwhile, giving girliness respect on screen also makes room for men to embrace their feminine sides, without risking losing all their status in society. As the gender binary continues to break down in pop culture, we've seen an increasing number of celebrities refuse to identify with any one gender. And that's made room for people to explore girly pursuits as more than just the default territory of people who are assigned female at birth. Girly girls continue to display hidden depths, and we're even getting to see some girly boys and girly thems in pop culture.
I'm not a girl.
Bob's Burgers has Jean Belcher, who is defiantly one of the girls.
Tell that to my vagina!
And Steven Universe's titular character is the girliest one on the show.
Just today you were crying about snakes.
They don't have any arms.
His whole life is pink-themed, he loves cats and romance. But what sets Steven apart is the way his girliness is his strength.
Do you care about me or something? Yes!
Whereas his superpowered foster moms use violence to solve problems, Steven always tries to befriend his would-be enemies. And his compassion for all living things may be his greatest superpower.
The power to heal.
Through shows like Pose and Orange is the New Black, femininity has also been claimed by women who have previously been doubly denied the girly girl label, Black trans women. Girliness for the women of Pose is a political statement, affirming that they deserve as much compassion and protection as white cisgender women.
I know our presence threatens you. We fought for our place at this table, and that has made us stronger than you will ever be.
As we continue to erode the divisions between what is masculine and feminine, the negative assumptions that girliness is inherently weak, stupid, or necessarily rooted in societal pressure have started to fall away as well. But we still live in a world where people are mocked for embracing their girly side, or even subjected to violence. And it remains all too easy for creators to fall into the trap of mocking girly girls without interrogating what they're really mocking. Still, for every show or movie that treats the girly girl as its punching bag, there's one that gives her brains, heart, and bouncy hair. We need to cherish these girly guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Their ability to be vulnerable, their love of beauty, and their compassion are much needed in a world that too often fails to reward these special gifts.
You must always have faith in people, and most importantly, you must always have faith in yourself.
If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified about all of our new videos. This video is brought to you by Skillshare, an online learning community that offers affordable classes designed to fit your schedule and your skill level. Skillshare is a great way to tap into a new supportive community that provides encouragement and inspiration. With classes on everything from graphic design to productivity hacks, you'll be immersed in a new creative world. One Skillshare original you can check out right now is Plant Queen's class on how to take care of plants and turn plant care into self-care. By the end of this class, aspiring green thumbs will know how to find the perfect plant for their home and lifestyle. Right now, Skillshare is offering our viewers a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. But that's only if you're one of the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description below. So join today and jumpstart your creative journey.